Alright guys, welcome back to the trade recap video. We did have a winner today, so that means we are 7 for 8 on all trades going into this month, and ultimately we made just under 4 grand today. And I'm going to show you exactly how I executed with this model, the wick model, and what it looked like. So coming into market open, I did know that we wanted to go higher because ultimately I liked this gigantic new week opening gap we had right here, and ultimately wanted to push towards this as a draw on liquidity. But coming to market open, what happens is what I wanted to happen at least is I wanted us to see London lows get taken before we did push up. I wanted to see us come into this 4 hour fair value gap down here because I did like this 4 hour rejection block it form. So I like this 136 level as well. So ultimately, my ideal trade today would have been we open lower, sweep out, or either sweep out this London low and I get stopped out of my first trade and form something off of that, or ultimately reject off of essentially EQ of this 4 hour fair value gap and push higher. Ultimately, we opened up pretty bullish today, so we didn't really sweep out any kind of London low before we pushed higher. But what we did form is off of open. We formed this 5 minute fair value gap. We formed this 5 minute fair value gap right here. And when we can see, when we trade back into it, we form this. Let's come back to here for a second. Once you trade back into it, we form this 5 minute rejection block. And with the wick model, all we need is really to see a rejection block form, and we take EQ of said rejection block with the standard 10-point stop. And my ideal trade would have been to us was my main target was this internal high right here for 69 points. But ultimately after I got tagged in, I do still have relatively 5 fresh PA accounts and then 2 other ones that are not as fresh but don't have a full buffer yet. So I am trading them kind of conservatively with as far as trailing my stops go. But we can see once we get tagged in, we pretty much reject off this level as ideally as possible. And ultimately, after about 40 points, I started trailing. So right here, it was like this this last minute candle right here was kind of playing kind of funky, like it wanted to keep going down. So that's why I started trailing it pretty tight at that 40 points. And then ultimately, I got stopped out right here at this around this 10 a.m. old level. And price ended up hitting my full take profit as well. But it doesn't really matter. I mean, it doesn't really matter because I still won my trade, so I'm happy with what I made today. It was a little bit over a 4R. I missed out on like a little over $100 per account, so it's not too big of a deal. But it's good to see that the full trade plan does play out. But we did ultimately end up getting stopped out a little bit earlier than what we wanted to. But it's okay because we secured profits for the day and made just under 4 grand. But that is essentially how I executed today. We had that 5 minute rejection block, and we just took EQ of the rejection block with a standard 10-point stop. With this model, I always use a standard 10-point stop, and sometimes you will see wick pass that 10-point stop and then go without you, but that's part of the process. That's just how this model works, and that's how I've always used it, is just a standard 10-point stop. But if you guys learned something new, drop it down below in the comments, and I will catch you tomorrow if we catch another trade. But this is pretty much going to wrap up this trade recap. It was this 5 minute rejection block, just targeting the internal high, but ended up getting stopped out a little bit early, but still secured a little over 40 points. And if you are any what of a decent trader, you know anything above like that 20-30 point mark is a good trade, or at least in my book, that's a good trade. So this is a fantastic trade. You miss out a little bit of profits, but it's no biggie. We're gonna make it up at the end of the day. So that's gonna wrap this up, guys. If you learned something new, like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.